What is going on, everyone? Super excited to have you back for another YouTube video. And if you're new here, then welcome to the channel. Today's video, I'm gonna go over a kettlebell workout that you can do at the comfort of your home, in the gym when we go back to the gyms, or you can do it out in a park. You can do this absolutely anywhere, because I know a lot of you have got kettlebells laying around the house. Don't worry, I got your back. If you do not have a kettlebell, don't worry, I'm gonna give you a few alternatives to use some dumbbells. So the reason why I want to show you a kettlebell workout is they're great for building muscle, they're great for working on imbalances and creating good motor patterns. To be honest, I don't see many people doing this. When I've worked in gyms in the past, it's very rare that you actually see anyone doing anything with a kettlebell workout, and I feel that they're underutilized. Right guys, I'm going to walk you through this exercise and tell you how you need to do it and how it's performed. So we've got a leg section, we've got a conditioning session, we've got an upper body isolation session, and we've got an ab session. So with each section, there is going to be 4 exercises. You need to perform each exercise for 30 seconds. Then you're going to go into the next exercise without any rest. So you're going to do all 4 exercises without any rest. Once you've done that, you can have a 1-minute rest, and then you're going to go back in for the next round. There needs to be 4 rounds per each section. The first exercise we're going to perform out of this little leg workout is a goblet squat. So all you need to do is grab yourself the kettlebell, making sure that it's resting on your chest and that your arms are tucked in and keeping your chest out. Here is a variation that you can do with a dumbbell, just in case you don't have a kettlebell. You can just perform this. Just make sure that your feet are shoulder width apart and you're trying to keep your chest up as tall as possible, slight little bend in the knees, and then sitting your hips back into it and making sure you're driving your feet through the floor. So again, with all the exercises I'm showing you, make sure it is quality rather than quantity. So make sure you're doing it correctly and taking your time. It's not trying to get as many reps as you can. It's all about good quality reps. So this exercise here is an RDL, stands for Romanian deadlift. So what we're trying to do is really focus on targeting the glutes, basically your bum, and your hamstrings, the muscle on the back of your legs. Few teaching points with this. Obviously, you want to make sure you keep your back as tight as possible and really focusing on pushing your hips back. So this exercise is all about hinging at the hip, So all you need to do is really focus on pushing your bum back, making sure you can feel a good stretch on your back of your legs, and making sure that you're pausing just past the knee, depending on your flexibility. So here is the alternative if you do not have any kettlebells. It is just a dumbbell variation of the same exercise, just making sure that your arms are staying shoulder width apart, and then again making sure you keep a nice tight back and neutral spine and really focus on driving the hips backwards and then engaging your glutes and your hamstrings and driving forward. So the third exercise of this leg workout is a front rack lunge. So all you need to do is make sure the kettlebell is resting on your arm and you've got one arm leading forward. Again, stepping forward, we're going to do the whole round on one leg, and then when we come in for round 2, we're going to swap legs. When we come in for round 3, we'll do our first leg, and then the 4th round will be the last leg that we haven't worked. So basically you do 2 rounds on your left and 2 rounds on your right. Key thing for this one is obviously make sure you have good balance, making sure that your arm is nice and forward and you're in a nice strong front rack position. It's really important that you plant your feet first and then you dip down into it and drive up. So you kind of want to focus on being an elevator, so you're going up and down in a nice straight line. Any of you do struggle with balance or you do have any knee issues, I'd recommend doing a reverse lunge. So this is what I'm just showing here. It just takes a step backwards. So it takes all the pressure off your knee. When you go forward, you put a lot of pressure onto your patella, whereas if you go backwards, it takes all the stress on this one. You just need to make sure that you have confidence in going backwards. Tip when it's doing any kind of lunge work is to really keep your chest up, looking forward and keeping your eyes on the prize, as I like to call. So I'm just staring at an object on the wall, and that way that I'm going to keep good eye contact with that one, and it will help with my balance and coordination. So we're now coming up to the 4th exercise of this mini leg workout, and this is slow tempo deadlift. So it's really important you listen to what I'm saying. So we're going to spend 4 seconds on the way down. As soon as the kettlebell reaches the floor, we need to be nice and aggressive and standing up. So we're coming into a deadlift and explode up. So I count down. So 4, 3, 2, 1, little pause, drive. And that's the tempo that we want to stick to, is 4 seconds down, little pause and driving up and being aggressive. Really important, keep your chest up, making sure you're feeling the stretch on your hamstring and your glutes, and keeping your feet flat on the floor and making sure we're driving with the feet. So imagine you're on a trampoline, and the only way you want to get more height is to obviously push with your feet, and that's what we're trying to do, is drive our feet in towards the floor. Again, making sure that kettlebell is nice in the middle of our feet, so it's not forward and it's not backwards, it's lining up with our feet. Perform all 4 exercises with 30 seconds on, no break, and then you're going to do that for 3 rounds. So we're now coming on to the conditioning workout now, and it's the same thing. There will be 4 exercises each for 30 seconds, and then what we'll do at the end of the round is have a break, and we'll repeat that 3 more times. So the first exercise in this conditioning workout is just conventional swings. So you've all probably done these before. It's just a normal kettlebell swing, but we're just going up to shoulder height. The key thing with this one is focus on pushing our hips back, and that's where we're generating all the power. Our arms aren't lifting the weight, it's all in our glutes. So pushing our hips forward and backwards, and this is what's giving the pendulum effect with the kettlebell. This is just an alternative in case you don't have a kettlebell. This is just a hang clean. So you're going to do a kettlebell swing just with a dumbbell in one arm. Again, generating the power in your hips, push your hips backwards and forwards, and making sure you have a full grip of the dumbbell. So moving on to the second exercise, which is an American swing. So it's basically the same exercise in which we have just done, but instead we're increasing the range of motion and making sure the kettlebell comes above our head. Again, generating all the power into our hips and our hamstring, driving forward, and that's what's going to create the momentum for the kettlebell to go above our head. And again, we're going to perform this for 30 seconds, as many reps as we can do. Think about driving your hips forward and trying to be as powerful as possible. The third exercise requires a bit of coordination, and these are called figure of eights. So all you're going to do is go into a squat position and just feed that weight from opposite hand from side to side. The key thing with this one is front to back. So the kettlebell comes in front of your leg and then it goes behind. Keep your chest up, squatting down, feeding from forward and backwards. You can do this with a dumbbell, but it is a little bit more trickier because obviously you're going to struggle to catch the dumbbell. The fourth exercise is called a high five. So it's a variation of the exercise we've just performed. But what we're trying to do is get this kettlebell to come up to chest height, up to our chin. And all we're going to do with our opposite hand is stop the momentum and going back into it again. So we're now moving into the kind of bodybuilding part of the workout, and this is some upper body isolation. So specifically trying to work specific muscle groups. So the first exercise we're going to perform is a seated Z press. So you need to go into the seated position, make sure our abs are engaged, and what we're going to do is push the kettlebell above our head. Again, making sure that our core is nice and stable, and again, keeping our eyes fixed on a spot. We're just going to push the kettlebell above our head. With this, we need to do 10 reps on one side and then 10 reps the other. And we're going to do this in a bodybuilding format. So what we need to do is do all 4 rounds of this exercise before moving on to the next one. Here is a variation. Obviously, if your core isn't that strong or you struggle in a seated position, it's putting a lot of pressure onto your lower back, just go into a kneeling variation. So put both weights on both knees and then just pushing the weight above our hand, just making sure you're keeping your core engaged and taking your time with this exercise. Again, core stability is vital when performing this exercise. This next exercise is where we're trying to target our triceps, the muscle running down the back of our arms. This is called a French press. So all you need to do is hold the kettlebell or dumbbell, if you're using a dumbbell, in between your hands, slowly lowering it down to obviously your back. Be really careful when doing this exercise that you're not going to hit your spine with the weight. It is very easily done. The third exercise is a bent over row. The positioning of this exercise is kind of tricky. So what I'd do is I go into a standing position, focus on pushing my hips back and trying to keep my chest up as tight as possible. Again, we're going to do 10 reps on each side. We're going to do that 4 rounds in total. Key teaching point with this one is to make sure that you're pulling the weight with your elbow and you're not feeling this on the front part of our arm. The fourth exercise is a isolating standing curl. So basically your bro bicep curl. Hold the weight in one arm, perform 10 reps on each side. Again, time under tension, taking your time, nice, slow and controlled, and making sure you're feeling the muscle in which we're trying to work. So in this case, it's the bicep, the muscle on the front of the arm. now moving on to the core workout, because I know everyone likes training their core. So what we're going to do, all 4 exercises are going to be for 1 minute, and there's going to be no rest in between. Again, all about good quality reps, making sure that we're not rushing it. This is a crunch. Lift your leg all the way up in the air, hold the kettlebell on the back of your arm, engage your core and trying to sit up into a crunch position. Slowly lowering yourself back down on the way down. You've done that for a minute, you're then going to go on to leg raises. What you want to try to do is lift that weight up slightly, where you can see my arms have got it, and that's going to anchor me down, and then slowly lift your legs up and back down, taking your time with this exercise. Looking back at this, you really want to focus on trying to keep your legs as straight as possible. After that, we're now going to go on to pull throughs. So you're going to go into a plank position, and all you're trying to do is pull that kettlebell from one side to the other. So again, making sure it comes underneath the body. My right hand's going to grab that and pull across. Exercise looks really easy and simple, but when it's done correctly, it will torture your core, and it is a great exercise. The final exercise is an overhead carry. Again, working on shoulder stability, strength and coordination, as well as working on your core and trying to keep yourself nice and strong. What we're going to do for 1 minute is just walk up and down, swapping from arms from left to right, making sure we create an imbalance and making sure that we're trying to use our core to stabilize ourselves. If you do not have the option of walking forward or back down, just hold it in one arm. So everyone, hopefully you enjoyed my video. Hopefully you can take away some information out of this, and hopefully you can take away a few exercises and incorporate that into your normal training. Again, with my YouTube channel, I want to create functional fitness and functional bodybuilding into that. And hopefully, again, we can start getting more of you guys to do that. So more my kind of metcons, more kind of different exercises, and basically just mixing up your training and doing something different so you're not getting bored. And if you have liked my YouTube video, please hit the like button below. Please also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And again, please share this video with any of your friends and family that might find this beneficial. And I will catch you with the next video.